Hello, and welcome to Prototype and See, the podcast for designers, engineers, and innovators all about the product development journey. My name's James Murphy, co-founder of HLH, one of the world's leading manufacturers of prototypes and bespoke production parts. And in this series, we'll be sitting down with some of the world's most innovative companies to discuss and find out how they go about bringing new products to life. Today, we're with Mark Mathieson MBE, who is the founder of a company called PurpleSector, a data and engineering-led design consultancy working in a number of different industries, including defense and automotive, I believe. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much. I'm very good, thank you.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Just to start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, the company, what you guys are up to.
So myself, I'm an engineer by training. Started from a very practical background.
Okay.
So I think I was probably in my father's workshop, age of 10,
right,
taking racing engines apart.
Okay.
Probably going racing as a mechanic by the age of about 13.
Started very young then.
That set my direction, I think.
Yeah.
And so in fact, we still run that racing company, a little racing engine company, which I call the family business.
Right.
So we keep that going on the side. It supports my sort of racing activities as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you partake yourself.
Yeah. So then I went off and got a degree in engineering, a master's in engine design. And then I went into a mainstream automotive consulting business, Ricardo Consulting Engineers.
Right, yeah.
Very good foundation actually for me. About 4 or 5 years there. And then I leapt into Formula One.
Right.
Into a relatively small company, Ilmor Engineering.
Right.
That had just got Mercedes on board to support their Indy racing and Formula One racing. So small company growing very quickly. A lot of exposure. So great time to get in, owner managers on site. So an inspirational experience for me. Got to take on projects you'd never really dream of doing as an individual at that stage of your career. So learned loads very, very quickly. Ultimately ended up running the Formula One Powertrain program for Mercedes after about 10 years. The company was bought by Mercedes, which is now the Formula One Powertrain company or operation that's in Brixworth in Northamptonshire.
Okay.
And then from there, I did another leap into McLaren. Obviously, I knew McLaren very well.
Yeah.
They were starting the car company, so I was one of the founding team members, getting the car company off the ground.
And when you say the car company, you mean the
McLaren Automotive, what you know today.
Yeah.
Started with the MP412C, but you'll recognise the 750 as the sort of sports car around today. So we started that. I was responsible for the powertrain, so I had to do a clean sheet engine design.
Right.
Still holds the record. Did it in 18 months. Was voted Engine of the Year by the industry itself for 3 years running. It was
impressive.
Super lightweight. Did everything it needed to do. Kept it very, very simple. A lot of race pedigree in it in the design. And then moved on to Applied Technologies, which was the part of the group at that stage that was taking F1-Derived technology to new applications. The group decided to divest from that part of the business, and I know Zach Brown, who runs racing quite well, and he asked if I could help out and bring some of that into the racing activity.
Right.
And because of the cost cap limitations that were coming in, and Zach was pushing that quite hard, we decided I would spin out and form a separate entity, which is PurpleSector.
Okay.
So we're very successful in building that sort of technology partnership relationship to the partners and sponsors in the Formula One team.
Right.
But almost immediately, I think we'd done a couple of major programs of work, and then we sort of bumped into COVID.
Yeah.
And because of my connections to the Automotive Council, I got asked to mobilise UK Formula One teams to support the Ventilator Challenge. Which was, it still stands as the benchmark project in UK government and in industry. We made 23 years worth of normal production in just 12 weeks.
Okay. How did you manage that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, process. So it's a lot to do with taking fundamentally the will-do attitude that you have, not could do or might do, will do.
Right.
Exactly like the race is going to start at whatever time on a Sunday afternoon. The car will be there and be ready to go.
Yeah.
So it's that attitude that you've got to take forward. That's the foundation for it. But a key part is understanding you don't need to plan a program with a sort of sequential flow of tasks.
Yeah.
Formula One is much more driven by what decision do I need to make by when
Right.
to continue to move forward. So it's a prioritization of decision making.
Okay.
And what information do I need to support that decision? Because it
Right.
needs to be a solid decision.
Right.
So we worked on that basis. We were allowed to operate autonomously by the Cabinet Office, which was a fairly unusual step.
Right.
We made sure we brought in, Deloitte actually did the audit cover for us and reinforced the ventilator company's finance team. I think they had 1.5 people allocated to finance, and
Okay.
the project was massive for them.
Yeah.
So we brought Deloitte in to strengthen that, and also the audit partner, so that it could all be very transparent all the way through and afterwards. So that we were trusted to get on with it. So that's another key part to trust and empowerment to make your own decisions and move at pace. So we ended up changing, so re-engineering and recertifying over 65% of the ventilator, because it was never designed to be made at that sort of scale. Within that time frame, I think we trained about 6,000 operatives. So airline pilots, AA roadside workers, anyone who had nothing to do at that point in time but wanted to engage and help. We had to train them digitally with tools that we had to create in about 3.5 weeks, so that when they came in, because you couldn't bring them into a classroom because of the COVID challenge, they had to arrive about 98% ready to go to the job that they were being deployed to do. It might have been building part of a ventilator or testing it in the end, anything to do with that process. Okay. So we did all that in that time frame, which demonstrated the art of the possible.
Yeah.
Which then, so along with mainstream industry, so major players like Siemens, Ford, Airbus, Rolls-Royce, were all engaged in the program and were quite blown away by what could be achieved with that sort of approach. And all of them tried to take all that learning and methodology and cultural shift back into their organizations, which did appear to be challenging, because you're trying to make that influence from within. At a sort of point contact. So it was a
fantastic advertisement for your company.
Yeah, and it really was the proof point to me that it wasn't just a McLaren relationship. So having that power of the McLaren brand, which punches way above its weight, to open doors and give you the opportunity. There was actually a real substance to this, and we could, in really real simple terms, do more with less and do it faster. And who doesn't want that when you're in an industrial environment?
Indeed. And do you think like that F1 is one of the only industries that has that kind of mentality?
I think there's others. I mean, you can probably draw parallels with SpaceX and similar. In fact, I think many years ago they phoned me up out of the blue and they were headhunting for Formula One people.
Okay.
Because I just said, I know nothing about rockets. And they said, that's not the point.
It don't matter.
It's the right approach. That's what we're after. So, and they were sourcing people from that background for that reason.
Okay.
So I think it does exist, but we're very lucky in the UK. That we have a concentration of F1 teams here, and it's for a reason. We've got the right mentality, the right culture. We're agile and fast moving, but not at the compromise of reliability and robustness. And that's the key point. So when you're representing a global brand, you've got to do the right thing. You can't let them down. It's more negative than positive. So that the product has to be reliable.
That's quite heartening to hear. That you seem as though you're kind of pro UK. You think we're doing things well here.
We're strong in that respect.
A lot of what you hear is so negative about the UK, and we're no good at anything.
Well, there's a skill set there that is I wouldn't say it's unique, but it's very special, and it does exist here. And we've demonstrated the power of it. There was no other country globally. Everyone was in the same race to build ventilators. No other country was successful. We were. And that tells you a story in its own right. So there's that. What I think we are not so good at is converting from the great idea, taking it through to let's say a prototype, demonstrated robustly in the destination environment, but not actually a product. That sort of TRL, technology readiness level 6 or 7, which is that prototype in the right environment demonstration, through to a TRL 9, which is the product, same thing out the door every time. That journey is difficult and expensive, and it takes a slightly different skill set.
Right.
And it needs a bit of patient capital as well, because you can't turn it around so fast. It's like a 10-year or 15-year or maybe even a 20-year investment. And if you look to Central Europe, they seem to be better at doing that because they're more confident about making the investment for the long-term return.
Yeah, yeah. And where do you guys fit into that journey then?
So we are trying to, I'm a great believer in learning by doing.
Right.
So we have sort of encapsulated everything that we do under the title of industrial racecraft.
Right.
Kind of speaks for itself. We're going to take what we do in that racing environment out to industry.
Yeah.
So it's taking that informed, data-driven decision-making, and it's decision-driven, empowerment of the expert. So who's best placed to make the decision? We say decision at the point of greatest knowledge.
Right.
It's quite often not the boss or the most highly paid person in the room. It's typically the expert with the best data.
Yeah.
So you need to trust that person can make the right decision, the best decision, and empower them. Much like the ventilator, that was cascaded to us from the cabinet office. They trusted us, we got on and we delivered, and they measured us, but we shared the metrics, and it was very, very transparent. So taking those principles out to industry, we seek to work with the industry partner to demonstrate how these things can be done differently.
So it's more of a kind of cultural
that's a strong element to it. So we combine, I think we're relatively unique in combining the technical and technology side to it with the recognition that there's a cultural journey to go on as well.
Okay, you can't have one without the other.
No, so we typically, everyone wants to get to that decision intelligence point. So if you look at the industrial racecraft journey as we articulate it, at the sort of third level, you've got that decision intelligence throughout the whole organization. So informed decision making. Wherever you've got a human on point, expected to make an important decision in a limited amount of time with way too much data coming at them, that's where you need to help them.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's more and more common these days with our love of data and more data.
Yeah.
That the analogy is directly to the F1 race strategy. So they have to be, so if you took McLaren as the example, so the comms is driver to race engineer, trackside, back to the strategist for that driver, who will not be trackside. They'll be back in their case in Woking, in what they call mission control.
Right.
So orchestrating literally a theatre of 40 odd tech specialists, 20 or so for each driver. If the race engineer has a request, so there's an incident, what do? I need your answer in 10 seconds. I'm going to count you in on 1. Give me your answer.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really high pressure environment.
Yeah.
But the truth is they've predicted that already. So they've got live data flows. They've got simulation models running. They've got predictive analytics across that. And they're looking at the different scenarios all the time, all the what-if scenarios. So all they're doing is over-checking that position, making sure there's no more data coming to them in the next 10 seconds that's going to change their decision or influence it in any way.
And even in such a kind of fast-paced, ever-changing environment as F1, like everything is data-led.
Yeah.
There's nothing just on intuition.
Yeah, no. And it's very much digitally led as well.
Right.
Because it is the fastest and most efficient and effective way of delivering the right outcome.
Yeah.
So whether that's a decision or whether that's a physical product.
Yeah.
So it's the digital is the master and the physical is the subservient.
And has that always been the case, or is this a recent?
No. I would say it's evolved over the last 30 years or so.
Okay, but as long ago as that.
Yeah. So Ron Dennis, who founded the modern day McLaren, was leading the team, recognised the importance of data and control systems, and he was the first into that space in the early 90s. Yeah, and invested quite heavily. To the point, actually, by the end of the 90s, every other team was using the same data visualization that McLaren generated in the first place.
Okay.
So he saw that way forward. But if you like, the white heat of a Formula One competitive environment, then you want the best people, you try and get them the best budgets and give them the best technology. The pace of innovation and development is incredible. So over 30 years, a lot of ground is covered. So there's some of the principles, and everyone wants to aspire to that higher level.
But how easy is it for you then to kind of replicate that and implement it into your customers' process?
So that's the vision. So we end up going back to the beginning, what we call the foundation. which is understanding what is the performance you are trying to deliver.
Yeah.
And which data points or variables most significantly affect that performance outcome. And have you got those? Are you measuring them well enough?
Okay.
Have the right people got them in at the right time? And quite often that's not the case. There's lots and lots of data, but won't necessarily have the right data. So there's a foundation and the principles of decision at the point of greatest knowledge, trying to get people to understand that, having the right data, the right hands at the right time, and respecting that sort of positioning. That's really, really important. So not a hierarchical decision-making process, but actually trusting and empowering the expert with the best data.
Yeah.
So you set that foundation, and we typically start by doing a proof of concept, or proof of impact is probably a better description of it. So demonstrate, take a small example within an organization, probably a difficult challenge they've been grappling with for a length of time, and see if we can work with them. And that's really, really key. We work with, not for. So alongside, because again, I'm a great believer in learning by doing. So we do projects with them. So some of what we do rubs off. And also, because we come from Formula One, we shouldn't be so arrogant to think that we can go and solve everyone's problems. You need all that domain knowledge to come into the program as well. So you work together to solve that difficult challenge. So that's the demonstration of the art of the possible, and gets the interest and the belief in there is a different way of doing this.
Yeah.
And you might do one or two of those, but then if you want to expand it over the organization, you then get into the cultural recognition, or the recognition that you need to make some changes across the broader organization. So we've developed some gamification tools,
right?
Again, based on the race strategy approach. So StratSim is our race strategy game. So we typically use it at C-suite and the high levels of an organization, and get them to try and run a race individually. And you quite quickly see behaviors, and typically the boss just wants to make the decision. And actually the best decision always comes from the person who sits quietly, looks at the data and understands the data, and gives the correct insight.
Yeah.
So you demonstrate the power of data and using data to make better decisions. And the fact it's not always the boss, it's the best placed person to make the decision that should make the decision. So you get that to be understood. And then we have what we call the grid, which is a sort of competition gamification tool that expands across the organization. So whatever the performance is that a particular area of the business is seeking, we help them to orientate on a competitive basis around that. So it might be production lines globally. If they're looking to improve their throughput, we get them to compete against each other.
Right.
So they start to understand, and then you appeal to the human sense of competition.
Yeah.
But then we also reward innovation and the sharing of that innovation with others. So that at the end of the race, there might be a month, whatever is the appropriate duration. Then they get rewarded and get recognized within the organization. And it's a very, very powerful set of tools. So you gradually get that momentum built up within the organization, which is the cultural piece that you absolutely do need before you really qualify to move to that decision intelligence position across the whole organization. And that could be big strategic decisions at the board level. And it could be in the manufacturing area, a very complex manufacturing piece of plant where the operator is trying to adjust and optimize all the time, but really has no chance in reality of doing that. You bring them the decision support tools. It might be a digital twin running in parallel with a machine learning capability that's informing them of what they need to do to optimize the machine, and then ultimately optimize it for them. Right.
Okay. And you've spoken about the attitude, the will-do attitude that exists in F1. Does that exist in the customers' organizations that you're working with, or is that something that you have to kind of help them to adopt?
I think in places it does. And you always try and start that proof of impact with an engaged team of people who want to make a difference. It's much easier that way. If you're faced with what I call cynical terrorists who have, they might look at you, smile, nod and agree, but they have absolutely no intention of helping or supporting. In fact, they work against you. And you need to flush those out. Either they're going to get on board or they're not. And that's the hard part of the process. But in general, people want to do a better job. And so you do get that engagement. And again, appealing to that competitive spirit. If there's a team over there doing a better job than us and they're getting recognized for it, well, I want a slice of that action. How do we get to do that as well?
And a lot of what you've spoken about is the cultural side of things, but you also work on the more kind of physical, tangible engineering side of things as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So again, if you go back to the Formula One example, so a part changes on a Formula One car about every 17 minutes.
Right.
24/7, 365 days.
That's very, very difficult for a lot of people to understand.
Exactly, and it's a churn. And actually, if you look, what does that mean to an organisation? So you've got to get that information across the organisation and contextualised into the right form. So that's the information flow to enable that to happen. But really, really importantly, you've got to down select. You can't sort of block the flow in the organisation with too many ideas trying to get through at the same time.
Yeah. How much of that is a result of the fact that they're just moving so fast that a lot of the changes, I know you're saying it is all data led, but maybe a lot of the changes were wrong?
No, so particularly under cost cap,
right?
Where that's come into Formula One, so the teams have a limited budget now, which is great because it's given a level playing field and made everything more competitive. But every team would say it's got better at what it does because it can't waste resource by putting through ideas that aren't going to give that competitive advantage. So the metric is absolutely good idea to competitive advantage on the track as quickly as possible. So you start that down selection process, again, back to the digital master. So the looking at the data, the simulation models, the analytics to down select and validate anything before you push it into the system. And you really want to stay out of hardware as long as you possibly can. Because hardware is slow and expensive, typically, in comparison to a well set up digital approach. And so that is the down selection process. And so that we build off of that into the industrial applications. So we always try and work out, what is the performance you're trying to deliver? How do we best optimize that performance? So we'll probably go in and, just like a Formula One race example where you've got telemetry, live data coming off the car, real-time simulation models trying to optimize the setup and the strategy, we would deploy our own sensing techniques, often non-contact, because you can't go and mess with someone's production line whilst you're putting sensors in.
And these are your own proprietary sensors.
Exactly. So specialist non-contact. The sensors themselves don't have to be that clever or high specification. It's what you do with the data off the back. So we've got self-learning systems that learn normal from and therefore discern non-normal very, very quickly. So they can highlight differences that then start to identify issues in a production environment as an example. So that's one area, but we're driving into that deployment. So we use that data to help us generate a digital representation of the process or the product. And then we use that in the digital space to then optimize, better understand what might be going wrong today and how we might make it better going forward. So in a physical asset form, we've got a good example with a drone company, which fantastic story. A prof at university had an idea. There's an entrepreneur who put some money in. And they mobilized a team of postgrads who literally made a drone aircraft in the corner of an old lab in a university. Wrote all the code, got it sorted, and started flying it. Legitimately, they entered some MOD competitions and started to do very well. And all of a sudden, they got a pull from the MOD. We need 10 of those. And then we stepped in and helped re-engineer the product. It was definitely a prototype to start with. So we had to engineer it to be a product. So we collapsed a 24-month first build phase to a 3-week build phase and resourced the whole supply
considerable
chain
improvement.
And got all 10 aircraft out on time. So you can either be in a large manufacturing plant optimizing the throughput. We've got examples in pharmaceutical, fast-moving consumer goods, through to products like the drone aircraft, and our own hybrid marine example where we were co-funded with Innovate UK and delivered a demonstration vessel. I think they admitted to us afterwards, Innovate UK, they thought we had absolutely no chance of achieving the entire scope. And we walked them down to Portsmouth and showed them a boat with a new engine with a flex fuel capability. So it could run methanol or gasoline and it would work out what's coming at it, any mix of the two. New control system to manage it all. A new hybrid driveline, a battery installation, in a boat ready to go, and said, get on and have a go. And we did it in 7 months.
Right. Very
So it's
impressive.
another example of the art of the possible.
Yeah. And this is what I think you refer to as race pace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's having that the pace and the rigor that you would expect in that race environment, but taking that out into other applications.
Yeah. And that surely must mean different things to different industries, different things to different companies.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But again, back to the principle of doing more for less and doing it faster is ever so important. And if you reflect that into defense, with the changing platform around the world, ever changing actually, so threat levels are rising, but there's continued fiscal challenge.
Yeah.
Then more than ever before, in terms of UK sovereign capability, back to what we said, we have this agility, we have, by demonstration in Formula One and associated supply chains, this ability to do stuff that others struggle to do.
Yeah.
We need to exploit that.
Definitely.
And bring it into that space and start to change it's a very complex process. It's relatively slow, and that decision-making process is very, very hierarchical. And so we're trying to...
Is that what makes it slow?
Partly, but there's a number of paradigms that need to be challenged in that industry.
Right.
So the former National Armaments Director came to see us at one of the big defence shows, DSEI, and he took the image of industrial racecraft and he said that's exactly what we need. That flow, we want to be doing it like that. So there's a load we can learn from the Formula One environment. And so we're knocking on the doors, we're having good conversations.
And what are, like, principally, how do you see yourselves fitting into that domain? Where can you help?
So I think very much in the supply chain.
Okay.
So how do you speed up what happens or needs to happen? So again, if you went back to the ventilator challenge, some people sort of leveled the criticism, well, anyone could have done it with that sort of budget. Well, the truth was there was over 40 ventilator program initiatives started by the Cabinet Office deliberately because they were hedging, because it was a massive challenge. We were involved in the two that were successful, one in particular, which was the Penlon ventilator full ITU device. If you took all of the investment across the 40 plus projects and lumped it all onto that one Penlon project, amortized it over each unit that we made, put in the material cost, the build cost, the warranty provision and the margin, we were still cheaper than the retail price of that ventilator before the COVID pandemic.
Right.
So time is money. And so there's the demonstration that you can genuinely do more with a limited budget, and you can do it faster. And actually part of being able to achieve the first 2 points is the last point. You're working at pace. You have to work at a faster pace.
A lot of what I understand as the issue for the UK defence industry at the minute is just the lack of a supply chain in this country. Is that something? Yeah,
so I think we have, it has been eroded over decades probably, and undoubtedly there's too much dependence on the US. And we've had a bit of a wake-up call more recently, and there is residual capability. We've got some big, very capable organisations in the UK, defence-based, and we have a number of SMEs who are also very capable and can deliver into that space. And we need to work out how we bring those two together most effectively to start to move a bit more pace into the system. But again, back to the cultural point, there's undoubtedly a big cultural element to this, because if you go to the Ministry of Defence itself, the procurement process is very complex, and it is like that because you're spending the public's money, the taxpayers' money, and so we have to, again, a little bit like the ventilator, we built the confidence that they would give us the budget and we would deploy locally, but with complete transparency. So if we can get to that sort of positioning in that defence sector, you would speed up the rate of operations. And we know we can do it because it's in a wartime footing, you do it anyway.
You do it. You have to.
So how do we operate at 80% of that all the time?
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
Yeah, and do you feel like we need to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the world's changing quickly, and particularly with the technology that they wrap over the top of that, with AI and the influence of that in the broader sense. For the UK, again, building sovereign capability, we have a huge opportunity in front of us because we have that DNA, that ability to move quickly, agile, pace, but robust. We could actually grab that opportunity and start to move and build our economic capability beyond just what's good for our defence requirements right now.
You don't just work with defence industries. You work with
we're quite broad. So that's one of our challenges, because the same principles go anywhere. It's agnostic to industry sector, really. And we're trying to just focus on where we can have the biggest impact. So pharmaceuticals, I've mentioned, consumer packaged goods. We've got good examples in both where we've deployed sensors in pharmaceuticals. So there's a line running that's passing a glass vial of drug through the line at 600 vials per minute. And every so often they get a crash, which meant there was, vial, glass and drug all over the place, 6 or 7 hours to clear it up.
Okay.
Each vial retail value of about €1,000. You can work out that's a lot of revenue lost very, very quickly.
Right. What's in the vial?
They'd never seen a failure before.
Okay.
And we deployed the non-contact vision system with the smart back end that very quickly discerned non-normal behavior, and it found the source of the problem immediately. You couldn't have written the story, really. We were with the guys from the line in a bar.
Right.
Having set it all up with a laptop on the bar, watching it live.
Okay.
And we just got lucky. There was a failure at that point in time, and they were just crowded around the screen. We've never seen this before, and played it back. And you could see from the analytics exactly what the cause of the failure was, so they could go back and fix that and get rid of the problem.
Okay. And you've mentioned AI.
Yeah.
Like how are you guys utilizing that, if at all, and what do you see?
A lot. So in terms of the process to deliver, so generating the solution, we've invested probably just north of 12 million in our R&D over the last 4.5 years.
Okay.
So that's deliberate to invest heavily in the foundation, and a lot of that is around that AI capability. So how do we get better at what we do so we can deliver faster?
Yeah.
So that's in the process, but also in terms of how that's implemented into the environment. So supporting that decision intelligence. You've got very, very complex problems to solve. Actually, AI is a very good tool in the right form to start to create those solutions and manage those solutions going forward. You're not quite at the point of replacing the human. That's the next generation.
No. Okay.
But it is very much used in those decision support tools.
Yeah. I think people are quite wary about the two, AI and defense, mixing, and the potential kind of.
We're in control of AI at the moment, and it's the thing of the moment, and for sure it's a big thing going forward. But we've been working with a level of intelligence in systems for a number of years, I'd even say decades. Forms of that existed in Formula One in terms of predictive capabilities and consuming vast amounts of data to get insights, actionable insights, very, very quickly, in real time.
Yeah.
So we've had forms of it, but basically there's more data available and more compute power, so you've got more capability to do it today. But then agentic AI is the next real step, where you have that ability to have an intelligent system, and how you implement that. We're working into that space at the moment. I don't think we fully understand it. I believe the human is still in that loop at the moment, and will be for some time yet.
Okay. And you think the attitude that you mentioned, the will do attitude, that's something that exists in the human in this country at the minute? Or you think it's
I'd
gone?
like to think so.
Okay.
Yes, you find it. And I do worry a little bit about whether it's a generational thing. that sort of, if you go back to the Second World War, where it's just a you must, you will do because you have to.
Yeah.
That generation learnt it firsthand.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether we've lost some of that culture.
Yeah. I think every generation does assume that about the younger generation as well, though. I think I remember seeing something about there was an engraving on a tablet from when they were building the pyramids, and they were moaning about the young people and their kind of lack of work ethic and things like that.
Well, you've got to think about it. I think they're smarter about using information that's available to them.
Yeah.
So I see it with my children.
Yeah.
They'll just go to the information and go, no, there's the answer. And so they're much smarter with the tools. So I think their productivity will be there for sure. And I still think there is that culture. It might be a little bit dormant in places, but I think it is there. They kind of need a challenge, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. Okay, so a bit of a tangent, but you MBE.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
So that actually it's for my role in the leadership of the Ventilator Challenge.
Okay.
So I got put forward by the team. Very graciously, they said if they had to decide if it was one person that they thought, if they took one person out that would have stopped the program, if that person was removed, it was me. So that was very, very kind of them to recognise that.
Okay.
And so they put me forward, and a bit of a surprise. I got an email. I nearly missed the email actually. And I got invited to Windsor Castle. I attended with my wife, and a great experience actually.
Yeah.
Princess Anne awarded the MBE.
Amazing.
To me.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And actually my grandfather on my father's side was awarded MBE status as well for his services to British industry. So it was
following in
exactly. It's very
footsteps, a
very nice feeling to receive that.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The company name PurpleSector.
Yeah.
I believe that's also somehow F1 related.
Racing related, actually. So if you go purple in a sector, so a lap is broken down into sectors.
Okay.
If you go purple in a sector, you're the fastest thing out there.
Right. Okay.
Now, that's not just the driver having a moment.
Yeah.
It's partly that.
Yeah.
But it's everything coming together at the right time to deliver that performance. Hence that name being relevant. Yeah.
And that's what your company is aiming to deliver for your customers.
Yeah, exactly.
That purple sector.
The performance step. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Enabling them to carry on having a purple sector.
Exactly. And we shouldn't need to be there all the time. Again, working with them and embedding that way of thinking and the tools and the techniques, they should be able to continue and grow that themselves from within. But clearly we'll keep that relationship with them. But we're relatively small. We're not we can't be deploying hundreds or thousands of consultants, and that's not our model. We're trying to be smarter than that, and deploy tools and techniques and the cultural
that help them help themselves.
Exactly that.
Okay. Yeah. And should we want to learn more about you guys and what you're up to, where's the best place to do that?
On the website, if you look at PurpleSector, you'll see us. And
it's purplesector.com.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So PurpleSector.tech, sorry.
.tech,
yeah,
okay.
TECH.
Okay.
And so go look at us there. We've got various bits of media release. LinkedIn as well is also a good platform for us.
Okay.
So please keep across what we're doing.
All right.
And we're always looking to employ smart people. So keep an eye out for that as well.
All right. That's good news as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whether you're working on your first product or your 10th, you've got the Prototype and See podcast to back you up through your product development journey. Follow, subscribe, and tune in for our next episode. We can't wait to see where your prototype takes you.